You went to the Gong Show and you put... excuse me, I'm flumming. You want some?
Well, I hope it goes down real easy.
You want some? I send you some.
What? No, I'm trying to quit.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, you get hooked on that thing.
So basically, you were looking to get some work, and then you figured, if I go on the show, everybody's going to know who I am. It's so embarrassing.
Not exactly. It was actually my club. I bought a nightclub after the Sonny and Cher show called Showbiz, which guys like David Letterman lived around the corner from me, worked there all the time, and Michael Keaton was actually almost discovered at my place. He was Michael Douglas back then, but he worked my place all the time.
Where was the club exactly? Where in L.A.?
On Lancaster and Victory in North Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh God, I must have passed that place 100 times.
Yeah, right on Lancaster and Victory, right on the corner, and I had it for a couple of years, and I specialized in bankruptcy and became very successful. I lost my ass in the place, but it was an interesting place. Like I said, Deborah Winger was one of my waitresses. I actually got busted because of her, and then...
Did you pop her? Did you get a little stooping over there with her?
Deborah and I had a little fling. I'm not going to use those kinds of words, but no, we got... Well, she was only 18. I was like the first guy.
Yeah. She tell you to put the bag over your head, or?
That was pre-bag. Yeah.
Oh, pre-bag.
Deborah ended up dating a few comics after me. I think Gary Mule there for one, and Richard Lewis, I think, for another.
Yeah.
But I was
that's exciting.
That's
not much competition for you, though. I mean, Richard Lewis and Gary Mule deer pulling an arrow on his guitar string.
Gary, I just worked with him.
He's a
maybe a year and a half ago. He still kicks ass.
He's working with
Johnny Mathis.
Johnny Mathis
for 100 years. Yeah.
100 years. I worked with him up in Pebble Beach. We did a thing with Vince Gill, Glenn Campbell, I think, was there, and John Denver, and that was pretty exciting. And Mule Deer was great.
Nice guy. I like Gary a lot. Always.
A regular down-home guy, no bullshit,
Yeah.
That's what I liked about. About you, no bullshit with you. You know where you stand. When you grab my ass, I know what it means,
And Richard Lewis dated my sister back in those days.
You went right over that, huh? You didn't want the public to know that you grabbed my ass.
Who did?
You did.
I want the public to know that you grabbed my ass?
You didn't want the public. You just went over that when I said that. Why'd you slide over that?
Well, I guess my nipples were hard. That's usually
All right, so you had the club, and then what happened? You figured...
So I had my club for 2 years, and I lost my ass in it. I used all that money in the Sonny and Cher show, those hundreds of dollars I made there,
right.
and bought the club. And like I said, it was an interesting place, that's for sure, with a lot of the people that, became huge today, were working back then.
Yeah.
But I lost my ass there, and the place went out of business, and I had no money, and I was back to square one, broke.
Yeah.
The Gong Show at that time, it had already been on the air like 6 months. And if you're in the union, which I was in because of all those previous TV shows I've done, they had to pay you to be on the Gong Show.
Right, you get like $500 every time you go on.
It wasn't that much then. It was maybe like 200 and something.
Oh, okay.
Back in those days. And so I needed the 200 and some dollars, but I didn't want my friends to see me on this wacko Gong Show, so that's where I came up with the idea. I'll put a bag over my head and I'll just do a couple stupid jokes, and I'll make myself a couple $100, and I went on, and I still remember the first joke I did to Chuck. I said, "Hey, you and your wife ever make love in the shower?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, you should. She loves it." Hey, but and the guys laughed, and Chuck laughed, and he after the joke, "Hey, you got to do another put down joke on me." So from then on, I just kept trying to come up with these jokes to put Chuck down. And did about 150 Gong shows, and 150 times $200 and something dollars. That's over $400 right there. I made.
Very good. Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
And you've been very busy. Are you coming out of retirement now? I hear you did a George Clooney flick?
Yeah, that was years ago. That was like, that's about 5-6 years ago now, yeah. Actually, I had to fight to get it because they were going to use somebody else, and it was shot in my hometown of Montreal, too, because in Montreal, you can get somebody for $300 a day, and that's all they needed was somebody for a day, so they just put a bag over somebody else's head.
That was Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. So I called up the studio and found out and told them that I didn't want the unknown comic in the movie. And I swear, a couple hours after they got that word, George Clooney called me at home on the phone. Mm-hmm. himself because he was directing that movie.
Right.
First directorial effort, and anyway, he was super nice and said, I'm sorry that we did this as my producers. We're trying to do this low budget, and he said, I'll fly you down here, I'll pay you lots of money, and he did. So he flew me down there and gave me a great vacation and shot some stuff without the bag.
That's good.
So it turned out to be a great thing.
And you did Levity with Billy Bob Thornton too.
I don't know where that ever came from.
You didn't?
I think I saw that somewhere. I never did that. I've done lots of movies.
Well, at least you're honest. Most guys would go, yeah, I did that,
No, I don't know where that ever came from. I think I remember seeing that somewhere. I mean, I did interesting movies. I did was like Skate Town USA, Patrick Swayze's first movie.
Didn't you write a movie with Linda Blair, I think?
I did. I've written 3 movies.
Oh, what are they?
Well, Up Your Alley was the first one I did with Linda Blair about the homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
And that did pretty good. I used a lot of people, a lot of comics in there. Then I did another movie
Night
called
Patrol. Night Patrol was another one, wasn't it?
Oh, Night Patrol was the first one. Come to think of it, yeah. Night Patrol was the first movie I wrote. And, that was a wacko. That was actually written and produced before Police Academy even. And
I'm surprised you weren't on Police Academy. You would have been perfect in it.
Well, because we were in our post-production when they were filming that, and I heard about another police movie being made after we had already finished ours. But anyway, the long story short is that I had made a deal with the guys who produced Night Patrol, and they didn't keep their side of the bargain at all, and I ended up walking away from the movie. It still made a lot of money for them, and I never saw a penny. It actually made a lot of money. But I just hated what they were doing in editing, and a little soap opera goes along with what really happened, which will be in my memoirs when they come out, as a matter of fact.
You are writing memoirs. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm writing. I finally decided to sit down and write highlights and lowlights of my life of every year from the day I was born.
I think it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, as I wrote it, because I was really amazed at how much stuff I did going through it. Like I said, the movies with Patrick Swayze, but whether it was the Clooney thing or when you get down to it, I mean, spending for this little kid from Montreal, all of a sudden spending Christmas Eve with Lucille Ball, at her house. Mm-hmm. Because I dated Lucy Arnaz back then, or partying all night with Elvis Presley in a suite, getting a phone call and getting threatened by Frank Sinatra.
Did you have any relatives in the States? I mean, to take off like that at 18 years old and go with nothing, that's a lot of balls, man. I give you credit for that.
Yeah, actually, well, again, you'll read in my memoirs, I was getting a lot of trouble in Montreal when I was 16, 17. Mm-hmm. I was involved in some gangs.
Yeah.
And robbing apartments and stuff like that. And I said I had to get out of there.
They all wore bags over their heads?
That's exactly where it started. Yeah. You knew that. No.
You produced your own cable show too, right? The Unknown.
So-called the Unknown comedy show with I think James Marcel, who ended up changing his name to James Wilder, and Johnny Dark, the aforementioned Johnny Dark. Uh-huh. And but I mean, I produced a lot of shows back in those days that were cable oriented. I did a lot of stuff for Playboy Channel. I did the Sex and Violence Family Hour. Did you see that there?
Oh yeah, when you had that stick and you were beating yourself on the butt. I remember.
The Sex and Violence Family Hour is actually produced by Playboy, and we shot in Toronto, and it was actually Jim Carrey's first job.
Really?
It was with me, and him and I did all these sketches together on that show back when he was never had a TV job in his life. Yeah.
You booked me once, I think. Didn't I work at a casino with you somewhere out in L.A.? There was a casino. You had me work with you.
It was a mistake.
Yeah, it was. It was terrible.
How the hell that happened? I must have thought you were somebody else.
You must have thought I was talented.
Yeah, you're a funny guy.
Oh God! So now you basically left all this to take care of your kids because that was important for you, right?
Yeah. When I had my first daughter, who's now 20 of all, almost 23, I just decided that if you're gonna have a kid, that should be a responsibility.
Yeah, that's a good guy. You're a good guy.
Responsibilities on my kid.
Yeah.
And so I sort of. I mean, I worked occasionally, but all my energies went into toward raising my daughter, and I had a second one. Mm-hmm. And, who has this Down syndrome thing, which is, for me, like a little gold mine. I mean, I couldn't be happier with her. And again, my energy is my kids are much more important than anything.
Well, that's they have to be, man, because that's your real world. Everything else is.
I just saw so many people as I was coming up in the business, or coming up to the middle anyway. I never really went that far, but I did okay. But I just watched so many people who just, their kids didn't become that important. They literally would become addicted to the show business.
Yeah, they get a maid to take care of the kid. You bastards.
The maid, or even if they weren't, couldn't afford a maid, they let the wife, and they were never there.
Yeah.
They were always on the road or something like that, and I just knew that would never happen to me. I knew that if I'm going to take the responsibility of having a kid, and I'm going to make sure that I'm there for them.
Yeah, what drives me crazy is these broads. They're movie actresses and stuff, and they go on and have a baby through somebody else, because they don't want to lose their figure. It's so important to keep that figure and look good for themselves. And so they get this...
Actually, I did have somebody else father both my kids, because I was...
well, you wanted to keep your figure?
But my penis, there was nothing but stretch marks.
Oh, my God, yeah. I could understand that.
I didn't want to lose its shape. It was really very attractive at one time.
Does your penis lose its stretch marks at late night? Is that the song?
Penis lose its stretch marks on the bedpost overnight.
Yeah, that's the song. That's it, right? But your daughter's doing very good. She published over 50 songs by the age of 19.
Oh, she must have over 100 songs just on YouTube alone. Yeah, if anybody wants to check her out, Maya Marie, Myah.
Maya Marie, and she's on YouTube.
Just Google her or go on YouTube. She's got.
I got to do that.
She sang, on Britney Spears' last album. She sang background on 7 of the songs.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and she got credit on each song. Maya Marie is credit, and on she sang on the last 2 of Britney Spears' albums, and we'll probably do the next one too. But because she can sound exactly like Britney, and the only reason she got into it is she was writing songs. She's really a songwriter, and sent a bunch of demos into the Britney camp.
Mm-hmm.
Of songs that she wrote, but she's tried to sound like Britney. So when they got them, they said, "Holy crap, this girl," so they hired her to use her to do backgrounds, and stuff like that. And but even though my daughter is, mainly wants to be a songwriter, but it's hard to get a song into any of these big stars, because it's very simple math. Anybody's producing these albums, of these huge stars. If you get a song on it, you automatically make hundreds of thousands of dollars. If it becomes a hit song off the album, you become a millionaire. That's just the math associated with it. So they're not just going to give anybody, these guys who produce these albums, they're going to give the opportunities to their buddies and their friends.
Of course, yeah.
Very, very hard to get in that door, and that's the reality of it.
So you're doing a lot of charity work for children now. That's really nice. All right.
Yeah, it's odd because when I was on the Sonny and Cher show, again, that'll be in my memoirs. I actually got involved with an organization that took care of retarded kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just unusual that years later, and I actually had a young boy that had a lot of mental problems that lived with me for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Named Alan Cook, so that I actually watched for years. I took care of for years on the side, and so for me to have a child with Down syndrome was like perfect, because I have the experience.
Yeah. So there's before you go now, because I know you got to go pick up your daughter.
Oh yeah, if anybody wants to check my Twitter too, I'm on Twitter, The Unknown Comic. I do lines every day, all day. And
you're on Facebook too.
Are you on Twitter? Do you follow me on Twitter?
No, I think I will now.
Yeah. No, I'm throwing lines all day, every day.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. And even Facebook, a lot of people think I do it for them. I really do it just for me. I'm 68, so I just want to keep my brain in shape.
You're 68?
Yeah, but I don't look a day over
48?
72.
72. No, I'd say 62 maybe.
No, I feel great. No, I mean it's odd because so many of my friends seem to have problems. I swear, I wake up at 68. I don't feel any different than I did at 38. And I'm not kidding. I'm as healthy as can be.
Well, stay healthy because you're a great guy. And
Edgewater Hotel, by the way, I don't know if this is going to be on before August 3rd, Saturday, August 3rd. I'll be at the Edgewater Hotel in Laughlin.
Okay. It won't be on.
Oh, it won't be on. Well, no. Then I was on, and I was fabulous. It was great.
Murray, thanks for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate this.
You got it, buddy. All right, Peggy, you take care.
Okay, man. So go give your kid a hug for me, will you, please?
All right, and don't forget next Thursday.
Oh, well, what is it?
You forgot. I hate that.
I know. I do that every time. This is the Frankie Pace Show. You've been listening to my interview with Murray Langston, the unknown comic, and